All right, we're back after 24 hours of bulk fermentation. Let's take a closer look at what the dough looks like. Look at how many bubbles there are in this dough. In order to remove the dough from the container, you want to make sure that the smooth top part of the dough stays upright, and I'll explain why in just a moment. So make sure to wet your hands just lightly, wet your fingers, and then just go around the sides. So notice it's just nice and smooth on top. I'll wet it a little more, and just go around the bin like this. Now I'm gonna flip it back onto the top side. Now notice how this part is nice and smooth. You want to keep that there. Once you have your dough on the table with the top facing upward, you are now going to go ahead and portion up your dough into dough balls. I like to make them about 280 to 300 grams in size each. To do this accurately, make sure to use a scale. What I like to do is just lightly wet my bench scraper so that I can go and portion up the dough without the dough sticking to it. I'm gonna be making 3 different lines here. And make sure, as I was saying before, keep this smooth part on top. Always keep that smooth part on top. And I'm just gonna stretch this one out a little further. Let's just start with this first column here. You basically just roll in on itself like this. Wrap your fingers around the bottom, squeeze like that, and then there's your dough ball. What I like to do after that is just form the ball up like this. And then place it at the side here. I'd like to show you another technique for portioning up your dough balls. This one's a little bit easier than the first one. All you really have to do is just take your bench scraper and then just cut a chunk out of this column here. Take the dough ball, put it on the table like this, and then just fold it over itself like that. And then just continue doing that a few times. Now, once you've done that and you have a nice smooth surface on the top, what I suggest is that you take it from the bottom like this, just like we did for the bulk fermentation stage, and pull back on it, pull back on the dough ball so that you create tension. Now, this one's not exactly 280 grams, so what I'd like to do is just take another small chunk of dough, put it on the bottom, and then again, just ball it up just like I did before. All right, the last thing you want to do with portioning is just to put your balls into the proofing containers. Make sure that they're not shoved up against the side. Make sure that there is some space on every single side of each dough ball. And there we have our dough balls ready to go. Once you have finished portioning up all your dough balls and putting them in their proofing bins, you now have 2 options. You can either let your dough balls rest on the counter for 4 to 6 hours, or you can put them in the fridge overnight and then take them out the next morning to rest again for that 4 to 6 hour period before using them. The reason why you want to do that is you want to let these dough balls fully expand so that they become soft and easy to work with when you go to make your pizza.